Good day, YouTube. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, Operation Laythe. Here we go with the completed Laythe mission assembly. The giant boosters and all the nuclear engines, the atomic rocket motors and such. Lots of batteries, all sorts of stuff, and of course, the space plane and Mr. Bob Kerban all at the center of it. So, having spent several episodes doing the research and testing and assembly needed to get this mission, it is time to stop screwing around and send it to Jewel and to Laythe. So I do have a couple of housekeeping items I want to make sure are ready to go. I want to disable crossfeed, since every time you reload it re-enables your crossfeed. I want to make sure okay, so I'm not using any more on propellant out of there. That's good. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and plot the mission. But actually, before I do that, I want to check one thing. Okay. So here we go. The Laythe plane mission weighs in at a fairly ridiculous 780.7 tons. Probably 90% of which is fuel. Okay. In any case, Jewel is out here. We are here, so we want to go out. Actually, we might be in a decent position to go for this right now. Even if we're not, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to get out of Kerban's orbit and then work from there. So really all I want to do is kick myself out in that direction with some speed. So I want to burn somewhere behind Kerban in its orbit. Get a nice trajectory out like that or something, and that's going to put me into a slightly higher than Kerban orbit, and then I will go and do a burn somewhere along this to get a shot out at Jewel, and hopefully I'll have an opportunity to do an inclination correction burn along the way, and all that fun stuff. Oh, interesting. What the hell happened there? Oh, that's a feature I didn't know existed. Neat. Oh, I like that. I just discovered this just now while talking to you. If you mouse over the vector and use the mouse wheel, it apparently adds and subtracts from your burn. Most interesting. Huh. I guess that'd be a decent way to fine-tune so you don't have to drag. That's a nice feature, actually. I had no idea that was in there. Okay. In any case. Okay, so we have 7 minutes, 17 minutes, or minutes, as normal people would say, to this burn. And I'm not sure how long it's going to be. But what I should do is just go ahead and push this over, find where my node is, my maneuver node, or my maneuver vector, to be more precise. Find out where my maneuver vector is, get lined up, and get ready for the maneuver, because I do not want to be having to turn while I'm doing things. And this is a fairly hefty maneuver. It's almost a kilometer per second. That shouldn't be too bad with these big engines. I'm even only going to start this at like half throttle. I'm not sure how solid these connections are. One of them has all 4 of the docking ports connected, but the other 3 boosters only have 3 of the ports connected. I'm a little concerned that's going to lead to wobbling and things. But we're going to start a little bit cautious. And if I have to do the maneuver in multiple steps, so be it. But I'll start the maneuver probably at I don't know, T minus a minute or something like that, maybe a minute 30, and see where that does for us. I don't want to do a test, but normally I would do like a little quick test burn. With these big engines, I think a little test burn is going to quickly turn into a big test burn, and I just as soon avoid taking any chances with breaking things. before we're ready to go for it. Do a quick save there, just in case. And actually, I think I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to disable that monopropellant tank in the meantime too, just to make sure that I have that left. And then I'm using the monopropellant out of these tanks, which will be discarded anyway when we eject the boosters. We may even go and eject those boosters in pairs. If the burn timing works out in the right way, I might, manually transfer the fuel over and then manually drop off, two opposite pairs of engines or something like that. We'll see how it works out. I have not tested this vehicle, so I'm honestly not quite sure what its flight characteristics will be like. I am sure that it will be hard to maneuver, except while under thrust of these, because these with their gimbling should make it not too hard to maneuver. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let's set our SAS and fast forward to this burn and see what we can make out of this. Whew, here we go, Bob. Hang in there. One crew. Stupid Bob. He's not he's not hardly stupid at all. That's why he's afraid the whole time, apparently. Which is kind of surprising, because his courage is actually pretty decent. Perhaps he just knows better than his his contemporaries what kind of danger he's in. Alright, here we go. Let's get a little bit lined up. Let's go ahead. We don't need... Oop, wrong one. There we go. We don't need those lights, really. They're just mood lighting, if you will. Alright, so here we go. Commence burn in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Main engine start. Oh wow, okay, that's actually a much shorter burn than I expected it to be. And I'm going to run at an even lower throttle than that, because you see the way it's kind of bouncing around there. It's making me a little nervous. So it says at half throttle, it was saying that's a 1 minute burn. So we're going to start at 1 minute and go at like a quarter throttle or something. Wow, that is very quickly becoming a little bit nerve-wracking. Alright, steady, Bob. Alright, so let's go to about a quarter throttle and just let that run. That's looking pretty steady. I think I'm comfortable with that. And even at a quarter throttle, these are putting out 500 kilonewtons of thrust. These engines are quite powerful. Woo! Here we go, Bob. Here we go. Getting a little bit of rolling going on. I don't think that's a problem. Let's give it just a little bit more throttle, since it's holding pretty steady. Keep it under about a third, though, I think. Let's see what this is doing for us. Yeah, this that burn time estimate, I'm not quite sure how these work. It looks like that's the burn time estimate if you run at full throttle, because it is not dropping at a rate of 1 per second. But that's okay. If I have to swing around and do this burn in 2 steps, I'll just do an orbit and come back and do a second burn. A single orbit around Kerban is pretty inconsequential to the overall mission time frame when we're talking on the scale of a mission all the way out to Joule. Haha! Take the time to get some cool dramatic shots, I think. Ooh, the moon in the background. Very nice. The engine flare. Cool. And this fuel is going to last a long time at this rate. I'll probably be able to use this for most of my interstellar burns and possibly even Joule entry. We'll see. We may have most of this left for return. This may be completely over-engineered. Well, I know it's over-engineered. I'm just not sure by how much. This is intentionally over-engineered because I don't want to come anywhere close on my fuel reserves. Ah. Alright. Let's see, while we're waiting, was there any good science news lately? Not really any amazing new discoveries that I remember reading about. Let's see something that I thought was interesting. NASA? The Bahamas! No, NASA. As in the space agency. We're talking about trying to get the supersonic overland flight restriction removed. And coming up with some... Ooh, got a little wobbly there when I turned the throttle off. Maybe we should make it a practice to ease on and off the throttle. Alright, so we'll just reset this burn for the next time around. So in any case, they were in support of that goal. They had developed some kind of software that would allow aircraft that were going to attempt to fly supersonic to, you know, predict their shock waves and things that they were going to create, so that they could direct, you know, the ground contact point, the ground shocks, where it would be loud and dangerous and break glass and things like that, where they would be able to put that where there's no people, basically, away from cities, and then you could change the rule from you're not allowed to fly supersonic to, you know, you must ensure your supersonic events happen in certain areas and things like that. So that, in combination with quiet sonic boom technology that different private companies are working on, some of them on their own, others in conjunction with NASA and other agencies. The combination of those two technologies would hopefully allow for private and commercial supersonic flights over land, which is something that certainly business jet manufacturers are interested in. Not as much interest from the commercial side, I don't think. That's why there was no replacement for the Concorde. Of course, one of the reasons that the Concorde didn't work out was that, I mean, it did work quite well for a while, for sure, but one of the reasons it wasn't a long-term prospect and a reason it wasn't replaced with anything was essentially the only place you could fly it is over the oceans. So you could do your, you know, between the New York and London flights and New York and Paris and things like that. But that was about it, and it wasn't efficient or large enough to be cost efficient flying at subsonic speeds over land. So anyway, that'd be a big deal if the rules were changed in the U.S. and Europe and elsewhere to allow supersonic flight over land with certain conditions, of course. So that's it. That's my space and aerospace news brief of the day. Said not a whole lot of big stuff going on this week, but here's some big stuff going on. Now this should very quickly jump out and become an escape trajectory. As soon as it starts to get elliptical like this, things will happen fast. Another 125 meters per second on the burn to go. Alright, these boosters are working out quite well. Ooh, we had a bit of an encounter there. Well, I was on the return though, so we would have been okay in any case. Alright, so I'm going to gradually ease off the throttle as we get close to this. That cutting to zero did seem to shake up the structure a bit, and that's something I really don't want to take any chances with. Alright, well, also I'm trying to balance my impatience with my desire to not strain the vehicle, so I do not want all these maneuvers to take forever. And any long ones, of course, I'll cut and come back towards the end of it so that we don't have to watch through the whole thing, but as this is the initiating maneuver, I thought I would show the entire operation. Alright, that's close enough. Close enough for Kerbals. Alright, we still got, looks like about... So we burned up that, and we still got 80% of that tank left, so pretty solid. We can do quite a bit more work with that. especially considering we haven't touched the upper stage and its battery of atomic engines yet. Alright, so let's get this fast forwarded out into interstellar space. Interstellar space? Interplanetary space! Darn it! I'm supposed to know what I'm talking about here. Hell of in the fast forward, these things that are in low orbit just look like crazy whipping around like that. Really gives you a sense of the timescale difference between these long, slow, wide orbits and the relatively short orbits that are on the order of hours, as opposed to days or years, of course, in the case of some of these outer planets. Alright, so let's go ahead and set Joule as our target. We have about over 1 degree of inclination difference, which doesn't sound like a lot, I realize. But when you're talking about 1 degree across the difference between here and Joule, that's pretty significant. You would end up missing Joule by quite a bit, and that's a descending node, so we want to pull this up here. Let's see if I can get that precision thing to work. Oh, that is nice. That is great for doing these inclination burns, getting them nice and precise. Well, it would be if I didn't screw it up. Come on. There. Alright, so that's 0. So it's clearly going to be done. Now, can I take a shot at Joule at the same time? I'm going to see. I'm going to give it a try, and it'd be nice if we can do these at once. At the same time. No such luck. Of course, that's part because my inclination went off again. Alright, forget that. We're just going to do our inclination burn, and then we'll try to set up an encounter. Now, of course, if we had predictive methods that we could use before getting out here, as of course any real-life space agency would in an attempt to plan their missions in advance, to know exactly what they need, we would be able to plan all these things and know how much fuel we would need and that. But that just wouldn't be very Kerbal Space Program-ish. It'd be a lot more like work and a lot less like experimentation. If you go into it knowing it's going to work, it's a lot less exciting. Although excitement in these cases can be sort of a bad thing, because crashing, whatever else crashing is very exciting. Whew. Alright. How long? Oh, it's only a 200 meters per second burn. Not too bad. I'm just trying to think ahead, since it took us about, not quite half, maybe a third, 40% at the most of our fuel to do that 1 kilometer per second burn. We should have quite a bit of delta V still left in these boosters. So that's the good news. The bad news is maneuvering to these points is going to cost a fair amount of RCS, which fortunately we still have quite a bit of on the boosters as well. So let's get this maneuver set up with 1 day to go. Yes, I think it's going to take 1 day for this maneuver, this turn. Let's turn our lights on, not those lights. Let's turn the lights on just for cool points. And that way if we want to run into an asteroid, it will know whether or not it has the right of way, because it will be able to see our lights. Not that I think an asteroid would care all that much. Stupid asteroids. They're very rude. They don't care what Kerbals think of the rules of decorum of spaceflight. This thing is ponderous, and I'm trying not to push it too hard and burn up all the RCS fuel. We're not using up any of this, right? Yeah, just making sure. And I'm also trying to be quite careful and do things somewhat cautiously so that we don't tempt the Kraken back out of its lair. That would be most unfortunate. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead, set this up. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. No, we're gonna use the ultimate RCS. We're gonna use the fast forward button as our ultimate SAS, rather. Little cheaty, but you know, whatever. And fast forward to get at least close to our burn. We don't need to, for these inclination burns, we don't need to be right on top of it. We just want to be fairly close. You know, within like an hour is fine. I mean, you're talking about within an hour on the scale of a year. You know, that's still pretty precise positioning. Alright, so let's light this up again to about 1/3. Gradually bringing it up. And we'll go ahead and do this. This should be fairly quick. You notice, of course, I'm not deploying any solar panels. It's because I built this vehicle to not require solar panels. We've got multiple RTGs on it, radioisotope thermal generators. Some on the core, some on the spacecraft. And we do have some of these fixed, non-deployable solar panels on the outside. But that was just basically so that these would have power. These boosters would have power for the docking and rendezvous procedure and all that. Alright, let's start to back off the throttle a little bit. It's kind of dancing. It's kind of dancing around the maneuver point, which tells me it's not entirely as solid as I would like. Either that or it could just be overcorrecting or something with the SAS. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Whoa, well, that is making me a little nervous there. Got some wibbly wobbly going. Maybe that could be what it was. Is we're just picking up some structural wobble. Let me settle that down with a little bit of fast forward. Ooh, ugh. You see that wobble when I came out of fast forward? That makes me a little bit nervous. A little bit nervous, so I'd kind of like to get rid of these boosters, actually, but I'm not going to throw away such a ridiculous amount of fuel. Alright, so we got our ascending down to 0. Let's just pick a spot, try to get an encounter, and see what it's going to take. Oh man, this is going to be a long burn. Look at this. This is already like over a 2 km/s burn, and I'm not even there yet. Yes, Jewel is far away, folks. Oh, that's worse than my first spot was. Oh wait, we can make this a lot better, it looks like. Oh, interesting. Is Jewel's orbit not circular? It sure looks circular. Interesting. Not sure why just moving the orbit or the burn point to a different spot is making such a huge difference. That's weird. I'm not understanding why this is giving me such a hard time. I'm going to go ahead and fiddle with this off camera and come back when I've got something for you. See you in a minute. Alright, our burn's not quite done yet, but I brought you back because something interesting I think is about to happen. And if you look here, it is that our booster tanks are about to run out. And you see we picked up a bit of spin here, which I've tried to counteract by locking the gimbal on 2 of these opposite one another, and it seems to have helped somewhat, reducing the overcorrection. This is not, since these aren't tied together, it's all kind of loose down here, and they kind of flex out if you give them too much throttle. But so these are about to run dry, which means I'm going to get to eject them and hopefully get better control over this vehicle. It also means this burn is going to be even longer when we have to switch to the nuclear engines. But this spin might actually do us something of a favor when we get rid of these, because it should actually kind of cause these extra tanks to sort of fling away from us. And hopefully they will do so in something vaguely resembling a controlled manner. Alright, coming down, we got under 400 units of fuel now. And hopefully when we get rid of these, this thing will become a lot easier to maneuver, because this is a little bit ugly right now. I'm telling you, this is not a relaxing, slow, watch it carefully burn. I've constantly been trying to work this back. See, I'm drifting once again off the node, and I'm trying to maneuver it back on there, all while this thing is kind of slowly spinning like this. It's a little nerve-wracking, actually, because I'm worried that just anything is going to break off, you know, at any given moment and scrub the whole mission or something. In any case, we're just about ready to lose these, and I want to eject them and then light up the nukes without waiting too long. so that I can kick myself away from... I think I'm going to do a quick save, though, before I disconnect, just in case it's going to end up being safer to disconnect them one at a time. Woo, okay. Woo. Alright, here we go. Quick save, and activate the stage. Woo! Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Oh, look at him swinging away. Some broken ports and such coming along with them. Well, let's see now what happens when I light up the nuclear engines. Alright, first let's kill this damn roll-off, because that's really becoming annoying. I'm going to have to activate one of my RCS tanks too here. Fine, there. That should kill off that rotation. Alright, come on, damn you. Do what I want. Do what I want! Thank you, finally, okay. Oh, bollocks. Ah ha ha. Quick load time. That was sort of a disaster. Alright. I'm going to have to try to eject these shrouds one at a time. Ooh, hey look. It actually, loading and starting over actually saved our spinning. Alright, so let's try this a little different. Well, actually, let's try this without the spinning and see if it works any better. Okay, so we have disconnected. Now let's see if that shattering of the engines is a repeatable phenomenon or not, because I'm not sure these shrouds typically stay with the cones, so it could be because some of these broke off. Not sure what the deal was there. It's possible I had them flipped the wrong way. That's probably what it is. Alright, so let's... Yep, that breaks things. Alright, we're gonna have to find another way to do this. I should be able to... Perhaps I can eject those... Oh, I quick saved! No! Oh, no! Oh, you've got to be... Ah, fudge sickle. Oh, damn it! Damn it! Ah, complete disaster. Oh, shoot. Oh, okay. Well, let's try to salvage what we can out of this mission. I'm just going to get rid of these. Get rid of all these stages. Why didn't you detach? Damn it. Are you broken or something already? Yeah, you're broken off already. Oh, complete disaster. Ah, come on. That is just ridiculous. Why? I don't understand why that was. I mean, there was a design flaw that I had the cowls connected to the wrong side. That was something of a problem. I should have had those disconnect flip the other way or something, maybe. I'm not sure. Although as far as I know, the way I had it built was right. But what I'm gonna try and salvage something out of this mission and use this orange tank and these 4 nukes to at least get us to Laythe, and we can send a rescue mission. Oh man, that was freaking annoying. Damn it. Well, at least we can throttle these all the way up. Rats! That's just annoying. So I may have to send a rescue fueler recovery mission out here to get Bob. I hope that this will be enough to get him there. Although, I can't be sure of that. Hey, stop burning fuel out of that tank. Disable crossfeed. That was not nice. You should not be draining the space plane. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and complete this burn, which seems to have gotten confused. In the catastrophe. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get my encounter back and see what we can make out of this mission then. Alright, I'll be back when this is over. Alright, so we do have here something of an encounter. It's actually 38,000 kilometers, which isn't too bad. You see, if we did nothing, it would actually shoot us out into this extremely wide orbit. So that means we're getting fairly close to Jewel, which is good, because Laythe is the closest planet to Jewel. We're going to go ahead and proceed on with the mission despite the catastrophe of our disconnects making their best possible attempt to destroy my little rocket. Fortunately, this center stack seems to have come through unscathed. And we have all the RCS fuel and all that, and the plane itself also somehow seems to have escaped damage. We have all of our instruments, our fuel lines are still there, we got our engines, all the flight controls are still in place. So, it wasn't as bad as it looked. I am now extremely concerned, however, that Bob is not going to be able to get home with this. I'm sure he can probably get there, but I'm not sure this will be enough to get him home as well. So we'll probably need to build him a new rocket and use a different design. Hopefully that's easier, both easier to build and easier to fly and won't spontaneously disassemble itself. So note to self and to anyone else, yeah, trying the 4-to-1 and then 1-to-4 split and then 4 back to 1 using these nuclear engines as a base to connect to boosters. Bad idea. Don't do it. Alright, so with that lesson most painfully learned, I'm going to go ahead and call this an episode, and we will do our rendezvous and orbital entry and hopefully our landing on Laythe in the next episode. So, thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, please like the video, comment, subscribe, all of that. And once again, I am Southern Wolverine here in orbit around the sun on our way to Jewel, here with Bob Kerman, wishing you all a good day.